I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone! Welcome back. We are talking season 3. We are back with Killing Eve. I got my girls here. As you know, Erika's gonna bring us that special segment. Say what's up, Erika.
What's up, party people? Hey.
And we actually got a newbie with us this season. We got Mia. What's up, girlies?
What's up? I'm so excited to be here. I am a new and intense Killing Eve fan, so this is very exciting for me.
I'm so looking forward to hearing the difference between you guys, like being a veteran, having done this before, and having your input, just like being fresh off the boat. I'm very excited. As you guys know, I am your host, Delia Gomez. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna have a special segment, a little bit of news and gossip. We're gonna have some crazy stories, as always, from Erika. So let's just jump right into it, girlies. I mean, come on. What did we think? This was kind of like a shocking episode, as always. What did you think, girly?
Oh my gosh. I was definitely shook by this entire episode. I mean, we have new characters, a random wedding, which I can't wait to talk about, like what?
Right.
And the flashbacks, the thump of the ending, literally. But honestly, now I just want dumplings. Like Eve was making dumplings and I'm so hungry. But not the chicken. I was like, no, that's too much for me.
What about you, Erika? What did you think?
I loved it. I wasn't really shook, really, I should say, until the end. But I like the idea of it's a new season and we want to see what everyone's new normal is.
Right.
And so that was really kind of cool how they did that, how they showed Eve and how they just showed everybody's new situation. And I was shocked by the ending. Kind of like, you know what I mean? Like once he heard that creak, I was like, oh dude, you can faster than that.
That first
like,
creak.
You know what you used to do for a living, right?
Yeah,
What's going on right now?
Exactly.
So, but outside of that, like I thought it was just very well done and it kept you like hanging on every moment to really figure out like, okay, what's up with everybody?
Yeah.
So it was really cool. I liked it. It was very well done.
It really was. I honestly have to say that it felt like we're all adjusting to this life right now, living remotely. So it felt kind of cool to see all the characters adjust to a new way of life. It's very different. They're also able to do what they're doing, but I was like, okay, we're all adjusting. Clearly, I'm like Eve in this show right now, just getting by. But
Literally a full box of groceries, just like dumping them in.
Poor Eve, I gotta say. You guys, I mean, we really do have to basically talk about Kenny dying. I mean, that to me, he's one of the biggest characters on this show, and then they killed him off. That to me, I was like, what? I mean, like, this is like the biggest shocker. Did you guys expect that? Erika, did you expect that? You being the biggest fan of Kenny and Carolyn's relationship?
I mean, okay, so I was shocked by it, but I thought that just like as a writer and stuff, it was the clear, consistent, the reluctant hero. She's like, I'm not going back, I'm not going back, I'm not going back. And so I was like, what is gonna make her go back? Like I was like, oh, okay. And then for a minute she put her hand on her head or whatever. And I was like, oh, she's just gonna go back now. But she was still like, nope. And I like my dumplings and stuff. And so I mean, so I thought it was like, this is what would pull her back and pull her back with a vengeance. So I thought I wasn't that surprised because once you start doing side stuff, I mean, you already kind of know they're tracking you. Right. You know that even though you think you're incognito, they got you. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, I wasn't totally like, oh my gosh, but I was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I wasn't surprised that it happened. Like, it's almost one of those things you see coming. Like Erika said, when I heard that first bump, I was like, yo, like, you better get up. What are you doing? He's like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. But I guess I'm not surprised that it happened. I'm more surprised that they actually did it.
Right.
Like, they killed Kenny. I'm like, yeah, how could you? Like, most of Twitter was so upset, and I'm right there with them. I just
girl.
I'm like, you couldn't wait till the 4th episode in, like literally episode 1. That just
right. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And all I could think of was what Carolyn was saying. I think it was last season to Kenny, and she didn't say it to Kenny, but she basically was telling one of the characters, she was like, I would never let myself actually love him the way he deserves to be loved because of the work we do. And then this happened. So I wonder if the writing room knew that last season when they kind of wrote that line in there of like, Carolyn was like, I can't love him because it's a crazy
I mean, creating some sort of distance. Cause I mean, she's in a world where deaths are the norm, and
Yeah.
it's very, she has to protect herself and her heart. But I was shocked because Kenny is probably one of like the most likable characters
Mm.
in this entire season. There's a lot of unlikable characters, and the way they just dropped him from, like, the building, I was not happy. I was like, wait, no, 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 I did not want to see
Rude.
him just like fall, like that shot of him just like
Yeah.
falling through the window. I was like, oh, ugh.
Right, exactly. I know what you mean, because I was kind of like, okay, how many people were there? Like, how many people did it take to drag him up to the, like in these matter of minutes? Was she late for their meeting? Like, I was
Right.
like, I need some more details, because I thought he was just gonna be like shot under a desk. Like,
Right.
once she got there, I was like, you better look down, girl. He's right there on the floor. That's what I thought. But then, then we hear the thud. So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah.
You know what killed me? When she pressed the elevator button and I was like, Eve hit the stairs. I was like, we don't have time to waste. I was so mad at her.
It
But
like
also,
takes 10 minutes. Ding.
right? Like, I'm like, you're taking so long. But then also, like, this is my question. My main question about the show as a newbie is like,
Okay.
why are they tracking killers and none of them are armed? None of them are trained to kill. Like, they're out here just leaving. Eve is leaving her front door open. I'm like, what's going on? I'm just astonished
yeah.
at this fact.
Well, Eve's kind of has like the death wish, sort of. She's kind of always been one step ahead in the previous season, right? Erica, remind me if I'm wrong, but she's kind of always been like inside a killer's head. So she doesn't
She knows.
necessarily know like combat per se, but she is more a psychological understanding and can kind of
And
understand a serial killer.
Yeah.
And from what I recall, I don't really remember too many people in her team really like, they weren't the combat ones anyway.
No.
So they always, they weren't really quick to always have backup, but she rarely, like, I don't remember like Kenny. I don't really remember most of them didn't really have guns.
No.
You know what
I'm saying carry a gun with you or something.
Yeah, they're more like
Right.
intelligence. So it's more about trying to figure out who the 12 are, who's working for who Villanelle is being hired to kill, because it's all Villanelle at one point she was having a huge target list, and it was like, remember that creepy guy from season 2 where he was in charge of this corporation and like we couldn't quite figure out his relationship with
Right.
his sister. So there's a
Right.
lot of like that behind the scenes that they're more likely diving into.
Out and about. I'm like, you need to arm yourselves. This is wild. Anyway, I'm down for the ride.
Well,
Just
I think
a
what the difference is, what I find interesting is, like, to be honest, it's kind of like, does Obama need a gun? You know what I mean? Like, if you have certain people behind you,
I love that.
and like
so
you
good.
don't need all of that. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a good point.
Like that's what your support staff is for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look at them
she's
now.
not really out
Yeah.
there shooting people, because she's like, yeah, I have a whole agency that shoots people. So I am just figuring out where they are. You know what I mean? Because it is more the government. It's like, is it really the government or is it really the criminal? You don't really know. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, it's, you know what I'm saying? These people are going to poison me. Like, there's so many different
layers
things
to
going
it.
on.
Yeah.
You got to be ready to protect yourself. But realistically, you can't be carrying a big old gun and knives and stuff. You got to move fast. You got to dodge.
You gotta move fast. That's your protection.
Yeah, and the only time you really do see violence per se was, we saw when Villanelle killed Eve, and we see Villanelle killing because that's like her thing and her, her flair.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's more of that cat and mouse game between the two of them, which I don't know. Do you guys think that's going to continue on in this season, considering how Eve is very much like done with Villanelle? Do you think that they're going to be still like at each other a little bit?
They have to, if not by the end. I know.
I mean, she's just married.
It's the whole core of the show. Like, it's got to, but I'm just like wondering how that will work back in.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it is from the previews when they finally, because I think Villanelle really thinks she's dead, and the whole part of my husband is cracked up and I'm making dumplings. She's not quite undercover, but she's doing her thing, right? So, excuse me. I think once Villanelle knows that she's alive, that's going to be a thing. She's going to come back. And then I think she's going to now, because of Kenny, she's going to be pushed back in anyway. So I think they're going to have to bump heads, basically, regardless. I think the killing of Kenny brought her and Villanelle back into play. And now that Villanelle is back working again, like it was
Yeah.
gonna happen. So yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah, we were introduced to a new character, Dasha, and I think we're going to get a little bit more of Villanelle's backstory. Part of like what makes Villanelle to me so interesting is this mystery behind her. So I don't know if like knowing more about her origin story is going to destroy that for me just a tad, that like essence of, you know, mystery that I love so much about her. What do you guys think, introducing Dasha and like kind of getting to know a little bit more of the backstory, and like basically that's her teacher? What did you think, Maya?
I think, well, first of all, I loved her jacket when she was like, "I'm Dasha," and she was like teaching kids gymnastics, and it said like Dasha.
Yeah.
I was like, "Who is this woman?" But I don't know. I'm confused about her. I can't really get a read on her. I'm excited to learn more about her. I feel like I didn't learn that much, other than the fact that she kind of like so basically, Villanelle is not self-made. Like I think we
Right.
can sometimes think of like murderers or murderesses as like you know, they had some troubled past and she did, but it's like these people trained her to kill, and so it's interesting seeing who has taught her to be the way she is in a sense. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more about her for sure.
What about you, Erika?
I'm excited to learn more. I think I want to know more about their relationship because I feel like it seems cool, but I feel like honestly she's disposable. So I think at the end of the day, sooner or later, if Villanelle has to, I don't know if it's that tight bond like that she had with her keeper, or, you know, with the
Right.
guy. So I don't know. Like I feel like she might be willing to take that woman out. Like that's the vibe I get so far. But it would be interesting to see more of her history, how they trained her. And you know, because right now Villanelle is kind of like, whatever, I'm not buying it. So it's not like reunited with your old auntie yet.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. I guess maybe they'll do more flashbacks or whatever. It'll be interesting to see more of her history because
Yeah, especially because
we
they
also,
got into it really bad.
yeah, and we don't really know Eve's history either. Because I'm like, if things are so bad, like you still have an American accent, go back to America. So I'm curious to see if we're going to get any of Eve's backstory too, because I would think that they're probably similar for some reason. I would.
Oh, that's
assume.
interesting. I love that. I love how you put. Oh, you always seem to like think bigger pictures. This is the thing about Erica. I'm always like, yes, Erica, tell us more, because it's so good. But you know, the way that her wedding was completely destroyed, the fact that Dasha was like around and like brought her back and pulled her, and now she wants to be a keeper. Villanelle now wants to be some sort of keeper. So that's a boss, right? That's more than.
Google that for next week because I was like, okay, that's more than a handler. But I was like, is she almost one of the 12? What is she asking for? So I don't even know. Like, I was like, okay, we're gonna have to find that out. And if anybody knows in the chat, let us know. Because
that was
the actual keeper. What, you know, like, okay, that's more than someone who trains you. That's more than someone who handles you. Like, what is the keeper doing? Are they setting up projects? Like, I don't know.
We need a family tree.
Yeah, we need to be like,
what?
I didn't even know that this existed for like killers. Like it's like, okay, so we have like the baseline, which is Villanelle right now, who's just an assassin, and then we have her keeper. No, who is it? Her handler, and then like a keeper's above that. I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. And okay, wait. Shout out to ER's grandpa. He says, great title for a book, Erika. My husband is cracked up and I'm making dumplings all day, every day. Because I love dumplings. Like when I was watching every scene in the kitchen, I was like, oh my gosh, if I ever lose it, that's all I want to do is make handmade dumplings all day long. Like you got me.
Now's the time.
Right? Just learn.
And shout out to the other people in the chat too, you guys. We have
we're so happy to have
9 people, so that's so great. Thank you guys.
That's exciting. Thanks for tuning in.
Mega Movie Z's, ER Grandpa, Sesha Flores. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, my bad. Like I'm not that great with my R's. But thank you guys so much for joining in.
Yeah, this means a lot to us, especially at this time, and especially here at AfterBuzz. We really do appreciate all of your love and like that you guys are fans of the show, fans of us, and willing to stick around, especially since we're not in studio. We really do appreciate it.
I was gonna say those are dedicated fans. Like a Zoom show. We love you. We love you.
We really do. All right. So I mean, that was kind of like the biggest two things. I mean, and there's a lot of like slow parts moving in this episode. I gotta say, for me, it was very much like, here's everybody slowly going tempo wise. The biggest thing was the ending, obviously. Like that was the biggest thing. We did see like, okay, we kind of know where this is going. But overall, do you guys think that it's going to be really hard to top the last 2 seasons? Like, that's my biggest fear for this season. I just feel like, okay, can they do it? I just don't know. What did you think, Erika?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're really talented writers, and I want to say, I think the woman who created this also created Fleabag, which got canceled.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Phoebe?
like,
Fleabag.
she has a lot of time. So, and she's really great. Like, I
And
think
she's working on a
amazing.
new HBO show, or she just has a new HBO show.
Wow.
Yes, I think she's amazing. I think they can, because I think, although, as Mia pointed out, Carolyn said she didn't love him like that. I think the fact that Kenny's death is probably going to be enough to, like, Carolyn has already been, you know, she's basically probably going to be head of something in, like, Zimbabwe or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're already going to give her a crazy gig because she messed up, right? So they're priming her. I would say, well, we'll get to predictions later, but like, if she goes rogue and she ends up with Eve, like, you know what I mean, to avenge Kenny, then it would be a great season.
Ooh, that would be great.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be a lot with Kenny's death. It's going to bring in a whole bunch of different layers to the story. So I think it could be good.
Very true.
What about you, Mia? What did you think? What do you think? As a newbie, I'm very interested. Like, because you've probably binged this. Like, you've just been like, all right. So you've seen the tempo change a little bit.
Yeah. So actually, when I was looking up, because we're going to do news and gossip later, I was looking it up. And so Phoebe Waller-Bridge was the writer of the first season. I'm sorry, I don't know the writer of the second season, but the writers have changed. And I think
every season
is different. So I'm curious just to see if it's going to be a seamless integration of like the dialogue and how they speak and how they interact, or if we'll see, you know, little bit of dips here and there. But I don't know. I think if this show is naturally, it's like a slow burn and then something big happens. And I feel like they usually, bookend it. So it's like either the first episode or the last episode, which we've seen. So I think there's a lot of room to grow in the middle. But I'm excited to see, like, honestly, an emotional side of Carolyn.
Oh, interesting.
She's been a bad bee. And I think she's going to get emotional because of course she loves him. Of course she loves Kenny. She just had to say that she can't let herself get that close unless that's really true.
Maybe she's also a psychopath. I mean,
that would be the best plot twist in history. Yeah. Carolyn is also a killer. I mean,
exactly. Like, I don't think Carolyn is going to get emotional because I don't think British people do emotion.
That's
but no. But I do feel like, given her job, given her choices, like, now we might see her with a gun. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's just going to get really cold-blooded.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
okay, got my son. I think she's going to be very vengeful as opposed to emotional, but I do feel like she's going to get her vengeance. I
do feel like something's bubbling in Carolyn, given the fact that she has a boss now. She's demoted. She doesn't have her office anymore. Like, she's very much like a woman in power. And you can kind of see those little bubbles starting to surface a tad bit. Like, I know this is the first episode. And like, we don't know her reaction yet to Kenny just yet. But yeah, Carolyn's always been a question mark for me, even from last season. I think you remember, Erika, we discussed a little bit her position with the 12 and like knowing about it, like kind of tipping Eve off in little weird ways. We were like, well, is it to help her or to get her killed? Because we were not quite sure like what team she's on.
Right. Very true. Very true. And I think she is very calculating, but I do feel like we have seen in this episode, everything, even before Kenny's death, is going against her. So it's going to be like, okay, is it enough to break her? Is it enough to change her from this calm, like, okay, I'm still working for the government the best I can, or is she getting mad? And I think we've seen her, like you said, start to bubble. So it'll be interesting to see if Kenny's death is the thing that's going to push her. But we'll see.
Yeah. And surprisingly, I thought Villanelle's kill was a little bit less sleek and a little bit more angry. Do you guys I read an article saying that they think that the writers were trying to show that Villanelle is showing more anger because she misses Eve. Do you guys agree with that statement? Mia, would you say that you agree?
Showing more anger, I almost feel like, and maybe, I don't know if I'm right, but I almost feel like it was the opposite. I don't think she was as angry. I feel like it was kind of like lackluster. She literally, I feel like before she'd put some oomph into the stabbings, and like, even if it was a little poison, it was like she was so sassy with them. But I feel like this time, I feel like she actually kind of connected with the woman, the cashier, for a split second. I almost felt it. And then she just was like, push. And with the powder, she seemed off. Like, she seemed like she didn't have something driving her because she thinks Eve might be dead. That's what it seemed like to me, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
What about you, Erika?
I think you said, what did you say? She said because of Eve's death,
Yeah.
was she
They're angry. So articles said
angry?
that.
Oh, angry. Okay, yeah. No, I don't think she's angry. I think she's grieving, right? And she's to some extent, or maybe she's angry because she lost her or whatever. But I think Eve has always had a manner of distracting her from her business. Like anytime she's really into Eve or really connected with Eve in some way, her kills aren't as smooth. And so I think this one was like borderline sloppy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's like, the woman was not dead and got up and started choking her.
Yeah.
That was so good. That was like messy. I was like, oh, what is this? She ain't dead? Like, what?
Yeah.
Cool.
So true.
And the fact that she said, untouchable, that means she messed up, point blank. I know, I'm willing to say as a writer, she messed up on that kill as soon as she got cocky, like, oh, I'm untouchable. No, it was messy.
Yeah.
And you are touchable now because Eve got to you. So now, as Carolyn said, she has a love for someone. Now she is vulnerable. And I think it is messing with her. So I don't think her kill is necessarily angry. I think it's sloppy. I think she's getting sloppy because she doesn't have a passion for it. She misses Eve. She has all these things emotionally going on, and she's not the cold-blooded top student that that she once was. She's not the star pupil anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I also feel like killing started to get fun for her when she was able to leave those little clues for Eve. And now that there's no one to leave clues for, she's kind of like, it's kind of like people say, I have no one to live for. It's like she has no one to kill for.
Yeah.
She's just like, whatever. No one's going to think this is fun. No one's going to track this.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because this show always does this thing where I agree with everything that you guys are saying. And then at the same time, I'm like, wait, but they're psychopaths and they're not supposed to feel anything. And so I'm just like, you know what I mean? That's constantly
You're so right.
That's constantly my issue with like, oh, I fall in love with Villanelle all the time. And I'm always like, she felt it with that little boy in the hospital that last season. And then like there's little moments where I think like, oh, there's a heart in there. And then there isn't. And then I'm constantly just having my heart broken with her. Which is interesting because I think that that's what this show is. It explores a mind of a serial killer and like also kind of, just with a psychopath, sociopath, like we can't really necessarily like determine what they are. But yeah, like you start believing all these things that they feel bad, they don't feel bad, and try to create reasons as to why they're acting certain ways.
Well, yeah, but I think too, though, like just because someone might be a psychopath or a serial killer or whatever, I think that doesn't mean that they don't have certain attachments to certain people. I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. Like, yeah, they maybe they go out and they kill all these people, but is there that one person that they wouldn't kill? Or does that mean that they don't have attachments, although not what normal people have, but maybe they do have certain attachments. And what was really interesting on a side note that I thought about the wedding scene was, I'm willing to bet, I guess we'll see maybe, but I think her wife, like maybe her family was like mafia or something. Because as soon as the fight came, it was like, everybody was like, oh, well, if she's fighting, we all fighting. if she's going for it, because I didn't like this cousin, no way. So it was interesting to see how they all got into it. Not everybody was like, at first they seemed kind of bougie and shocked, like, oh my gosh, she said whatever in her speech. But as soon as she started throwing down, nobody was shocked. Yeah. Everybody started fighting. And the kids were like, oh, we see this all the time. Let me throw some cake in there. So it was an interesting scene, I thought, all the way around. It'd be interesting to see who that woman is if we ever find out.
Yeah, I literally just put it together that she said in this speech, like I know she was like, but she said, I killed my ex-girlfriend, didn't she? So does she consider Eve her ex-girlfriend? Because I'm pretty sure she said her ex.
Well, she said, I thought she said she was glad she was dead. And everybody was looking like, what? And then the bride or whatever started laughing. But everybody was looking like she's serious. And the bride was laughing, but I think she knew she was serious too. And then like,
the audience in that shot.
So it's interesting because it was like, okay, it's all right to talk about somebody, you glad somebody's dead. So you already know it's an interesting group of people in there.
Oh my God. And that guy who had the bottle of wine, did you guys see that when it
Yes.
pitched? The guy got the bottle of wine to his face. I was like,
that was honestly a really great scene. That entire like wedding,
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I'm really glad that was included. That was like, okay, we're back in the glamour and like Villanelle's outfit, girl. Yes, that's how you get married.
But it was very theatric. It reminded me almost of Mean Girls. You know, this
for sure.
They literally like are just like prying on each other in the hallway. Yeah.
But I love the little kids that were like, yay, food fight. Woo! I was like, this is the best wedding ever.
Right? I need to be invited. Like they didn't let us know. Well, we also have some great news coming up as well. So Mia, you got some news for us?
I do. Okay, did you like my little tune there?
I loved it.
So actually, funny enough, I found this thing on Twitter that actually you said you guys loved what she was wearing to the wedding. And just a little aside, if you like costumes, Easter egg symbolism, at Sad LA Timer said, thinking about how Villanelle wore black to her own wedding, legends only. I love that. I didn't really think about that. She literally wore black, but she's in mourning. She's mourning. Or can she, like you said, because
she was also dressed like a man. So, I mean, she wasn't going to wear a white suit. I mean, give her a break.
I don't know. I like that.
Also the male part of the wedding. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's what I thought too. So she was wearing a suit, but it was like really, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. I thought the black was cool. I thought that maybe was a symbol. I don't know. But so the actual news is, in a Daily Mail article, lead writer Suzanne Heathcote insisted that the death was key to the plot. And this is the death of Kenny, clearly. She said, it's hard because Kenny's so beloved and understandably so. Sean is a brilliant actor as well. It's always hard making those decisions. The reality is it's because he's such a beloved character and because Eve has such an emotional connection to him that the death has the impact that it has. It needed to be something really monumental that brought Eve back into the investigation of the 12. So, Erika literally knows everything. And
we just
literally gave us a spoiler, so we know what's going to happen now. So thanks, Suzanne. Thanks, Erika.
Sorry.
I love how you just know it.
She knew. Also, oh my gosh, another thing too, I saw this tweet that was funny and it said, thinking about Carolyn at home alone with 2 servings of fish and chips.
Oh my God.
Because, before he left the house, she was going to get
I know. I love that scene when he was like, I'm mad, but I will have some fish and chips. Thanks, Mom. Bye. Like, I love that.
And they're perfect fish accents. Oh.
Yes.
That's that. Yep.
Oh, I love that. I don't know how I feel when I'm always kind of betrayed by writers. I know Erika understands them. And she's like, this is why we have to have it. But I'm like, why'd you kill Kenny? Like, I loved him so much. Like, I'm always kind of betrayed. I'm like, I followed him. I loved him.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, as a writer, like, I know, and I totally feel you. And, not to segue into an old back in the day type thing, but
do it.
After they killed everybody in Game of Thrones, I was like, anything can be done ever. They will take out anybody at any time. And that's what makes it good. Because then you're like, oh my gosh, could they really kill Eve? Like, I know that's the name of the show, but I want another season.
Oh.
So that's what makes it good, because you always are like, you don't really know in your heart if they're going to play by the rules. And that's what makes it so exciting. Like, that's what makes you like, oh my gosh.
That's true.
So that's what, and I agree with you. Like, it makes you so sad and upset. So I'm like, Kenny was so cool though.
He was the best. He was the best.
So sweet. People kept being like on Twitter, they were like, I wish it was Nico instead. I'm like, leave Nico alone. I kind of like him.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let's bring it back to Nico. I still stand behind, even though he's in a crazy house, I still feel like he might be a spy girl. Like, why is he here still? Why are we still with him?
And
she's been saying that forever. Like, Erika has been saying that Nico, and that at the point that she's so accurate about so many things, I'm gonna start taking notes and be like, okay.
No, not okay. So all right. So Nico, I will say, right, Nico has not come to pass, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. He's such dead weight. I mean, even Kenny was like, well, I was talking about Nico. And she was like, oh yeah, right. He's in the crazy house.
She did not care about him. She was like, swerve, my husband. Did not need him.
And let's go back to that before we get out of here, like really quickly. Let's talk about Nico. Like, Nico, dude, take a pill, man. Get your life together. Like, how did you marry somebody who's like in the next to the CIA type stuff, and now somebody's dead, and you like, maybe he had an addiction. I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm like, yeah, like I hope this did not like mentally crack you up, because it was just
I don't know
like,
how he expects Eve to be normal. Like I think we've been saying that for so many seasons. It's like we understand what Eve does as viewers, and him as her husband does not understand what she does. And it's like, honey, your wife is not who you think she is. Just kind of.
That's so true. But okay, I have a hot take on this. I actually think so. Eve started out, this is marriage. People transform. Like that's natural, and you love them and you choose to support them. That he's faulted on. But she didn't start out this way. Like wasn't she just like the assistant to the guy? Like she wasn't supposed to be out there like chasing like this psychopath and being in the way of all this. And so he loves her and he cares for her. And I feel like people are like, Nico, you just need to support her. But I'm also like, I understand, like that's hard to watch someone you love go out.
Right.
But then I'm also like you guys said, like, this is who she is. You knew she was going to do it someday. How do you not know? You know?
It's true, because there was a couple seasons where we were starting to see that come out of Eve a little bit more. She was suppressing her infatuation with Villanelle and killing and all of this, the dark side of Eve. She was suppressing that when she was with Nico. And at the end of the day, people are who they are. And, you know, he just doesn't want to realize that.
Yeah,
I agree. Like, I feel like he's like that mobster wife that's like, oh, I don't know what my husband does. He just brings home money and like he pays for everything in cash. And I don't know. And I'm just gonna pretend like I don't know he's a mass killer. And because to me, it's like, okay, you must have had some idea. It's like if you're married to a cop or whatever, or you're married to someone in the FBI, like you got to know that this is what your life is going to come in contact with. And I don't know. It's interesting how they've shown how he has not had the ability to deal with it.
Right.
Or maybe he tried to leave and then obviously, you know, he got dragged back in or whatever. So it's an interesting, we'll see where they go with Nico. I'm not totally saying he's a spy, but
the spy.
Hopefully they'll do something with him this season. Like he's,
Well, speaking of spies that we don't really know what team they are on, if they're good or bad, you got plenty of stories, don't you, for us, Erika? We all are.
All right, so here we are for the special segment of the first one of the season. Famous real life female assassins, because who don't like a good assassin that looks good? Okay, so now this assassin is from Mexico, which
hola.
Mexican assassins. I know I've spoken on a few. So this one is Maria Guadalupe Jimenez Lopez, Mexican female assassin, also known as La Tosca, which I don't know Spanish, so I don't know what Tosca means.
Tosca means like toasted, like okay,
yeah, because she was shooting people up, So she she was arrested in, I believe this was 2012 in Monterrey, Mexico, and she is an alleged enforcer for the Mexican Los Zetas drug cartel. And she is accused of 20 murders, including those of rival gang members, police officers, you know, like a whole slew of people. She like tortured people and left them in cars and teenagers and stuff. Now, what I really find interesting about her is, which is why I'm pretty sure I did not report this before, because
I don't think you did.
Okay, first of all, she was 26 in 2012, so like do the math, she's a little bit older at this point, but she was responsible for robberies, kidnappings, killing gang members. She was like managing, she's like a manager for the drug cartel, right? But now what's interesting is that they had her on a salary, girl. That's the part that I find tripped out. So she's killing all these people and she's only doing it for $1,500 a month. And I'm like, no. But I mean, you know, I know like whatever, but it's 10,000 pesos every 2 weeks. And I feel like she deserved more. I'm just gonna say that. I'm sorry.
I like how you're like
but she was doing a lot. She killed 20 people and $1,500 a month. I mean, women just make less money in these situations.
Erika, you would find a way to like make this a political movement.
I mean, exactly. Like, you know, I'm sorry that she got caught, but you know what I'm saying, girl, they were not paying you enough. That's what I'm gonna say.
Erika for president, even though we don't know where her about like who she's exactly wanting to get paid more. They're kind of iffy criminals.
But yeah, so La Tosca. So she was known for like, she's one of those sort of typical movie like assassins, like James Bond, where like she comes up in the black Escalade with some other people and just shoots people up with machine guns.
Oh
so
wow.
My God.
That's her, but she was caught in 2012. So, I'm assuming she's still in Mexican prison now, but I will keep you all posted if she's
I mean,
getting out.
sometimes these assassins like get out of jail.
I know
free
so many
cards.
of them that we studied last year, like were like, yeah, now they live in Portland. So
It's so true. It's so true. They're like, yeah, they like kind of got forgiven if they did like one little job for the government or whatever, or just got pardoned or whatever, then they can go free.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so interesting. So I will keep you guys posted if she's out and about, after quarantine.
We need to know if she's
I'll
out and
let
about.
y'all know.
How long was she doing this for? Do you know when she started all of this?
I don't know when she started, but she was arrested at 26. So she had to have started like when she was young, you know what I'm saying? But I'll find out. That it didn't say in the article, but I'm like, she was arrested at 26. So she was already kind of young. Although I will say this, if they show you the photo online, she looks a little older than 26, so it's rough out there in those streets.
I'm just
Those
saying,
bags are real.
You ain't got time for night cream, girl. You ain't got time.
I know. I'm like, woo, drink more water. But
you're too busy having your eyes open, like just trying to make sure no one coming in to kill you.
Exactly. It's a stressful life for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Erika, for that. As always, you always bring us a wonderful story. I'm telling you, I don't know where she gets these stories from. I'm always like waiting patiently for it. And I know our viewers are too.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's a blast. It's my pleasure.
Oh my God.
Now we got to get into the predictions, y'all. I mean, like I know it's the first episode. It's a little hard to know where this can go because it can go so many different
your
ways.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So what are you guys thinking? Erika, what did you think, babe? What do you think this is going to go?
Okay, so I think exactly as the blog mentioned, and as I mentioned earlier, I think Kenny's death is enough to bring Eve back into the fray with a vengeance. And I think it'll be interesting to see because now she's really, at first, she was all about catching Villanelle.
Yeah.
And that just was so driving for her. So now I feel like it's going to be the same thing in catching Kenny's killer and catching the 12 or whatever. And I think it'll be weird because I think for once she and Carolyn will be on the same team because Carolyn will be so mad with the way her supervisors have played her, or maybe they'll pretend like Kenny committed suicide. It's probably what they'll do. They'll probably say Kenny committed suicide to keep it like hush hush. And that might push Carolyn over the edge. And so she and Eve will be like the duo. They'll be like, Starsky and Hutch or something.
Some other duo. What about you, Mia? What did you think?
Honestly, retweet everything Erika said.
I know.
Clearly, she knows best. Erika knows best is the name of this episode.
You guys are so funny.
But I'm excited to see how Carolyn reacts. I don't know. This could go either way, like we said. And honestly, I want to know who killed Kenny too. I guess we didn't even really talk about that. I don't think that'll be next episode, but that's
because we don't really. I mean, we could kind of say this in those predictions. I don't really believe he jumped. I do think it was actually someone who killed him.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we do have to find out who that is, and I'm sure we will get info. But I always feel like they never really let us know who the 12 is. So I'm hoping that maybe this season we can find that out. But I agree with everything Erika said that Eve is going to be back. We're going to get back into it, and Villanelle doesn't know what's happening just yet. But
she will.
What was that wedding? We need to know about this lady. More flashbacks, please.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys, thank you guys so much for being with us. I'm Delia Gomez. You guys can find me on all social media at the Delia Gomez. Erika, where can they find you, babe?
All right, you guys, I'm Erika Edwards. You can follow me on all of my social media at Erika. That's ERIKAD as in door Edwards.
And I'm Mia. Hi again. Thanks for having me. You can find me on Twitter at Hot Mess Mia because it's a hot mess. I speak my mind over there. And on Instagram as yours truly, Mia, because I write.
Oh, love that.
Oh, that's cool.
So love that having you guys, and I'm so excited to see what this season brings. So stay tuned, stay with us. We're very excited. Have a good one,
All right,
guys.
ciao for
Bye.
now, you guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Ciao, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.